We have parents who beat their kids for being dirty. What are they doing to the kids? Let's talk about baby sister. She cries a lot. Kanaweza kagonga. Sasa kanalia nini? Now as a therapist, what can you?
Just a change in behavior. All of a sudden you just notice attitudes, which means they are actually not seeing their mistake anywhere.
Do you need somebody? A shoulder you can lean on when you're not strong. We're here for you, All Smile Therapy.
Hi guys, and welcome to yet another episode here at All Smiles Therapy YouTube channel. This is Mental Fitness with the Camas. Kamore leo saa hizi hayuko, lakini tutamuona tu. And thank you so much guys for the love, for the support that you've been showing this YouTube channel. And yes guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, comment, share, just do all the amazing things zenye unafaa kufanya hapo hivyo. Sawa sawa? Msijali kahoma kamenishika, lakini tutakabembeleza mpaka tuongee vizuri. And now ladies and gentlemen, today of course we have our amazing therapist with us. Yeah, mmempenda huko kwa mtandao na mnauliza sana. Mmeshinda tu mkisema mnataka therapist. So guys, yes, help me invite and welcome our amazing therapist, ladies and gentlemen, Teresa.
Hi Richie, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good seeing you, and pole for homa.
Asante.
Yeah, you feel better.
Yeah, I'll feel better. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Yeah, and welcome. Thank you so much, by the way. You are people that are showing us love. Calling, coming for the sessions. Yeah, watching and appreciating. Yes, we are very grateful.
Amazing.
Thank you.
People have already seen why they need to come for therapy.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're really happy that at least people have the knowledge that therapy is not for the imperfect. You know, it can be for anyone, and it's for anyone.
It's for anyone.
Yeah. So last time we had a very amazing conversation that even actually worked for us, and we are really grateful. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, and because of that, many people called, especially in their marriage setup, wanting to know much more, and also some were asking, I'm already in, we never did all these things, like the premarital and all. Yeah. How can we just go about it? And yes, it's always good to let them know it's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late.
Yeah. And today we're having another conversation.
Yes.
Conversation I actually never thought that it was important. Therapy for the kids.
Yes.
Actually, I'm so sure out here there are so many people who don't know that it's very important for even kids to go for therapy. We assume too much.
We do.
We assume too much.
Yes.
Ebu take us through. Ebu tell us why do our kids need therapy? Si ni tutoto tu.
No, that's the assumption.
Yeah.
Why they need therapy, I'll base it in why we see adults today. I can tell you like 50% of the issues brought today for therapy, they are all about childhood traumas. And now for trauma, we shared last time, these are wounds, you know, that we carry with us, brought in by our caregivers, people who are supposed to take care of us, our parents, those that we love, when we were growing up. There is always that assumption that this is a kid, and because it's a kid, there isn't much, or they do not have the understanding of the surrounding. But that's not the case, because when they grow up, they are unable to move forward because of things that took place when they were growing up. So before it becomes a trauma means now there is the longevity and the prolonged, and also before it becomes trauma, we actually need to deal with it as a disturbance for healing purpose.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I've seen in some videos here and there on the social media, some kids who are actually even so rude to their parents. Now, can you say that is childhood trauma? Okay, because you find like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old is doing crazy stuff, anatukanana mpaka wengine wanatry kufight hata wazazi wao, wengine wanaambia wazazi wao I hate you. What happens in a mind of a 4, 5, 6-year-old who is actually in that situation? Yeah.
We are looking at human developmental stages.
Yeah.
And kids, how they develop is they learn, they do. Whatever you're telling them, they know how to action on it. So anything that you see happening, just mirror the caregiver. When we talk about a kid who is 6, 7, 8, before the preteen stage, everything that they're doing, they are mirroring something. If at home you don't use all these, abusive words and all, and you get to hear from your kid from the age of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just reflect on who is around them. Are they getting this from the school? Is it the teachers or even from other kids? Is it the nanny that you have in the house? Is it within the estate? Because they mirror. So, and one of the mistakes that we do is to want to discipline. They've used that word, and the first thing we want is to start beating them, questioning. We actually need to sit with them down and get to know how they learned and from where. And do you even know the meaning of this word? With that, you allow them time to give you more information. So this comes in because you are able to know where your kids they are being abused from, because use of such words, that's an abuse. So where are they getting this abuse from? But the moment you go, I do not want to hear that word again. So what are you telling them? You need to keep on shutting. So you're teaching them to keep on shutting other than to keep on expressing themselves. So you're actually supposed to let them know, well, I've heard you talk about this word. So please let me know who told you about it, how did you learn, what is it? And now they're able to take you through, we were playing with so-and-so, or I heard from so-and-so, and now you correct them. That word is not good. And also go ahead and tell them what it means. If they call you like monkey, let them know, you see, monkey is an animal, and us, we are human beings, so you're not supposed to call a human being monkey. Let them understand. But what do? Nisikusikie tena, no monkeys in this house, without getting to know where they being abused from. And now as it goes on, we've said they see, they learn, they action. You are teaching them to shut each and every time. And that's why we say when you want to instill discipline in your kids, just do it the most healthy way. Do not correct something you've not taught. You wake up one day, you want to beat them, you want to discipline them because they've not taken cups to the kitchen. But did you have like a moment with them to let them know, once you're done taking your tea, eating, this is how you're supposed to. You're supposed to take your cups to the kitchen. So that now the next time it will be, what did we say? You have a reference. But we are so geared into assumption that they need to know it's wrong. But where did they learn it from? So what happened is they keep on learning the wrong things, expressing the wrong things, and we shut them. So now that shutting, it's now where the trauma starts from. The trauma is not from where they learned the word. The trauma is not being able to express and getting help, because the moment they expressed, you shut them. So they grow knowing, when I get these things, my mommy, my daddy, they do not want to hear about them, so they continue shutting until kids get to a level they're even being raped and shutting. Because I know when I got to say, first of all, do they even know it's wrong? They do not know. Maybe they just asked, they heard from someone about sex, they asked the other person, what does sex means, and they were told, practically they were shown. By them being shown, practically it means they were sexually harassed or even raped, So with that, but they can't, because the moment they talked about monkey, what did you do? You shut them. So even this time, they'll not come to express to you, because you still, now that's how in a way, you've taken their brain in a way, like, you are there to reset it. You're not supposed to. And now that comes, how do we connect with our kids? Do we connect in a way that we are actually their support system? Are they so free with us? Or they hide some things from us? Yes.
Amazing. No, let's talk about something that actually happens to us. Now, even people know, Let's talk about baby sister.
Yes.
She's turning 3 in I think next month, She cries a lot, and she expresses herself in a certain way, where people, when you read comments, you see people saying akanaweza kagonga, sasa kanalia nini, there's no any other way of her asking for something. Does she really have to cry? Now there's what I feel as a parent, and I'm sure there's how the dad also feels on how to handle her. Now as a therapist, what can you how can you gauge that?
Of course, with your consent. Though this is no therapy, we are just educating because we have others like baby sister out there. You've talked about 3 years. We allow kids to express themselves the best way they know how. If their expression, them crying, it's actually not a crime that we talk about crying. You crying today will not be the same with baby sister. Them crying, it's their form of communicating. They are communicating because I do not think they cry or she cries after she's happy, she wants a cake she has been given and now she's happy and now she cries. No. She will cry when she wants something. That's her way of reaching out for help. And one thing we say about kids since the day they are born, up to the age of 4, 5, they are more expressive than verbally because they're learning to talk, they're learning how to have conversation. So they'll just express themselves, and hence comes even the tantrum, the terrible two and all that. It's a way of kids expressing themselves. If you're a parent out there and you're not able to observe your kids non-verbal and get to know they want something, then you need to know it's actually time to get your kid getting checked. Now they start from there. When they are all this dramatic, what do you do to them? Do you just watch them, do you attend to them, or do you stop them? When you stop an expression, just get to know you are touching their emotional selves. You are touching them that even in their adulthood, they'll never be able to express themselves. So some of the people, they never show you love. Those things. People will complain, this person, I do not even know whether they love, they connect with me or not. Maybe at 3 years, they were shut. Everything, dare you do this? Let's just allow them. Is it possible to allow kids to just be kids? Because to me, that's the bottom line. They're 3 years. You're not expecting at 10 years. That's how she's going to behave. So this is her way of asking, Mommy, I need this. It's okay. Just go on, So how now you come in as a parent is, as you go on, now you let her know, if you want to ask for this, this is how you ask for it. But again, how much are they able to for layman to digest that information? Tomorrow they still wake up to that. But as they grow and now their brain is also growing and they are able to get in this information, now they'll be able to learn on how to ask for these things. But because they are not yet there, they know if I cry, I'll get what I want. So it's good to allow kids to be kids. Let them express, and they just need to express fully.
So we don't have to hit ama kukachuna ati juu kanaji express, because kuna watu actually recently there's someone who was like naka ni kama mnakalea vibaya because she was asking for something and kitu yenye anaitisha na force, nataka hii, and if I don't give, or rather if we don't give, she continues to cry until I give it to her. Now probably some of this some of the things that she asks, of course, ni kama ni kitu naweza enda ninunue nimpatie. For instance, ameitisha pizza. I can afford pizza. I can go outside and bring pizza ndio achekulia. But do you think I have actually helped her?
Here we go to the ego. We have 3 forms of it. And first starts when a kid is growing. There is the immediate gratification. When they want now and now. And not even tomorrow, not even any other day. I want and I want. So get to know it's their growing stage. They are very irrational. They can never be rational the way you might want to have that pizza, but it's not there. First, you do not even have the money, or it's late at night and all that. Or we have ugali, why are you asking? So you will think like that because you are rational. There is no way you can impose a rational thought on a kid who is growing and who is already at the irrational stage. Theirs is immediate gratification. So what you do first is to let them know, you validate how they feel and what they're looking for. If you're able to, why not?
Yeah.
Are you getting? If you're able to, why not? Or you just want water, it's okay, just take water. You know, just validate. Then as you're validating, if it's something they're asking for, pizza at the middle of the night, let them know, well, we do not have pizza, but can we get this? Then you now live on the promise. Then tomorrow, and you know, at time their tomorrow, they'll have just forgotten, because when you talk about immediate gratification, the next minute, right now they are crying about water, the next minute it will be about milk or something else. So these things of judging is because we want kids to think the way we are thinking. We want them to be rational, yet they've not grown to be rational, you know. So we start by the kids now being irrational. That's when now they are growing. Then comes now the state that we are at, the rational one, where you are able to make decision, to know what is right, what is wrong, to have patience, to know you don't have to have something and have it now and now. And of course now we have the next one, which is still unhealthy one. And the unhealthy one comes if during their irrational stage they are never allowed to express themselves fully. They'll never grow. They'll still be stuck at that. You get? They'll still be stuck at the irrational time. That's why at time you can have conversation with someone and you're just wondering, well, ni kama, you know, there is a word we say, amebakisha, ama, because you're like, we are mature people, but the way you are arguing, I'm seeing a teen in you or a kid in you, you know? Like, why are they doing like this? You do not also want to reason with the other person. So now this grows now to the, we call it the dysfunctional egoism, which now comes with people either having the strong belief that everything is about me, and now comes in being selfish, you know, because when they were supposed to be irrational and be guided correctly, we wanted them to be rational. That does not happen when it comes to kids development and even human development. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's interesting. At least I've learned something there as a parent now that we are parents.
Yes.
Now, to what extent should a parent say, I think this one needs therapy?
Yes.
Yeah.
First, just like the way we say we need therapy, whether we have issues or not, the same should apply to our kids, because therapy is for self-care.
Yeah.
So at time, just having them visit a therapist might help you learn more about your kid, as well as might help your kid to learn more about how to be themselves. So I will start with things that we need to look out for. First, I have seen scenarios where, especially like now, they are on holidays. And some parents, they're so happy, you know, me, my son, my daughter, they will not go out, they just be in the house watching and all that. They don't get dirty, you know, because of course when they go out, they're playing with the rest. That should be an area for therapy, because kids should be kids.
Now, before we go on, you've talked about kids being, we have dirty. We have parents who beat their kids for being dirty. What are they doing to the kids?
They are abusing them. Those kids will be our clients in future. Yes, you are stealing from them, Rachel.
Yeah.
You see, what is happening? Most parents, they are reparenting themselves. You need to know as a parent, which position are you taking? Are you taking the position of being the younger version of yourselves and getting what you never got? You went to school without shoes, now you want to buy 30 pairs of shoes for your kid because you never got. That's you trying to reparent the younger version of you and not actual kid that you're bringing up. So in the mix of reparenting, there now comes the aspect of the behavior. Because today, if you're the one playing here with other grown-ups, unless it's during sport time, someone might ask, is Richie okay? You get? But kids, they're just kids. So what we are doing, we are busy. First, we emotionally disconnect from them. So we do not understand them. The much we know is the date I gave birth to this person goes to this school, and I'm referring to them as this person because that's our relationship. It's more transactional. Have they eaten? Have they done homework? Are they home? Have they been dropped? Have they taken shower? It's, you know, transactional, where it's yes answer, like it's all about an answer to it. We do not give time to just even stare at each other. How does it feel by there to be my baby?
Yeah.
How do you want your mommy to be? You know, just to connect emotionally. So first, there is that emotional connection that is not there with our kids. The next thing is in most cases, we do not spend quality time with them because we feel quality time is TV time, is going out. And you know, going out is an adventurous time because they'll be out bouncing castles, connecting with other kids. Quality time is no phones, no TV, it's just you and them. Whether you play hide and seek, whether you will play slide, you know, they'll come and slide on you like the way they, you know, all those, it's you and them. You go down, whether you are playing ball, whether you are now cooking together, you're just doing things together, not as core duty, but you're just there, you are intentionally present, and it should actually be effortless. Even as a parent, you also want to do it, you want to be there, you are painting together, you are competing, you're doing this thing. Now that's what we term as quality time. So now to come back to, you should not be dirty and all that, or them being beaten for that. We are stealing the childhood from them. Let's just allow our kids to be kids. Take your position as a parent. You had your time to be a kid. We are sorry if we went through hurt. That's why we are here. Just come and process your childhood traumas so as not to bleed on your kids and steal the childhood from them, because in them you want to reparent your young version. Yeah,
amazing. So let's go back to the behaviors parents should watch out for in their children.
First is withdrawn and avoidance. So withdrawn avoidance comes with they just want to be on their own. Some will go to bedroom, they just want to lock themselves or just be in the house, not to go out and play with others. If your kid has always been an outgoing, and this also goes to our teen kids, especially in high school, they've had friends before, and now they do not want to connect with them. They're home, they just want to be home. Get to know there is a problem with that. Your kid has not become a lone ranger. Your kid is becoming withdrawn. Avoidance is where they do not want anything. Like, you guys are going to visit, I'm okay. And you know, comes with the assumption, you know, they get to another level, they do not want to. No, just get to know, is it really they do not want to accompany us because they feel we are parents or we are having other young kids, or are they avoiding? So avoidance is when they do not even want to join the family during meals time, breakfast time and all that. They just want to be on their own. Withdrawn is they do not even want to go out, play with the rest and interact with them. That should be first sign. Get to know your kid is withdrawn, is in avoidance stage, and so they need to be seen to get to process. The next thing is just a change in behavior. All of a sudden you just notice attitude, and especially this goes to teen parents, and even pre-teens. You just notice they've changed in their behavior. The way they were, it's very different. First, get to observe. You should be the first, I won't say the first therapist, but the first support system to your kid. Get to know, be there. Don't wait to be told, just be there to know there is something happening. Get to know when they start drugs and all, that's when they start becoming withdrawn, if we are referring to the teens. Or to even change their behavior, because again they're still growing, so they are also guilty because they know maybe they're doing something that is not okay, or just could be your kid is so used to being bullied that now it has become part of them. Be there, notice the change in their behavior, the attitude, how they're interacting with people. Some were so bubbly, all of a sudden they're so withdrawn, keeping it to themselves. They are not bubbly anymore, or they're just thinking, you know, they're just there. And also crying. Be observant when our kids are crying. First they do this while hiding, but there is so many ways that you can tell they're crying. Even just bump, of course I know comes with them wanting to have their space, but just bump to their room. You're the parent, get to know what they do. Just bump in, just check on them. If you feel like someone is crying or something, just confront and inquire. So those are some of the things. When they come, they complain, I do not want this school. have seen parents, again we go back, we want to reparent ourselves. What do you mean? This is a national school. Do you know what it took me to take you to this school? And do you know how many kids would have wanted to go to this school? Hey, parent, just listen to your kid. They could be communicating something of high importance to you, something that you really need to know. Get to know how does, and not why. Just tell me, because now you are putting them you are attacking, and so putting them at a position of defending themselves. Just inquire. You being a student, in this school, how does it make you feel? What are things that you like, things that you do not like? Just have conversation. Listen. At time, them saying they do not want this school could be out of just the normal peer pressure. They want to go to a school where they know they have more friends. Could be they are actually communicating that I want to be heard more. I want to be with you. Because in their growing, we've made kids to be the caretaker of even our marital institutions. How this kid, when they are learning in school, they are busy thinking, maybe this is the time my mom is being abused, physically abused, or my dad, like there is war at home. How are they, like, because they left home when things, domestic chaos and all that. So them saying they do not want to be in a boarding school, they want to be in a day school, is because they really want to be there to just ensure they are there to see if daddy got some slaps and mom. At times that's a way of them communicating. They might be communicating, the problem is not the school, it's actually at home. That's how they do. Even some will even engage in some bad behaviors in school that requires discipline and all that. They are even sent away, and when they come for therapy, they'll be straightforward. I had to do this because I really wanted to go home. I know my dad, and especially Edmund, maybe he'll be away for 2 weeks, then that becomes, call for war, or even my mom would be like this. And so I was just not okay. Like we've transferred everything to them. We are bringing up very insecure kids. They're not insecure because of who they are, but because they're not so sure. I might go back after the holiday and maybe my parents have divorced. I want to be there to just, and there isn't much they can do, but they just feel, no, I need to know what is happening. So I do not want this school, might be communication, either peer pressure. The influence, we just want to know, what is it? You have more friends in the other school, so how can we make this school more habitable for you? How can we make you get more friends? Because it means there is still a weak area. They are not able to relate well. So it's our job now to come enhance, so that because a teen, that's when now they start building the relationships and all that. So we can assist. You don't have to ride on your primary school, friends. You can also build other friends. Then if it's about communication at home, now we are able to know where the problem is coming from. Also, they're getting a lot of things in school. There is a lot of things going on in our today's boarding schools, and not just boarding schools, by the way. Let me say, it's all, but of course boarding schools, they're becoming notorious in this. And so actually your kid could be maybe enrolled into some, they also have their own Camas that even teachers may not be knowing about. They do not want, they are being sexually harassed, and a lot of things they do not know how to tell you, because you're the parent who kept on shutting them. But now they know, for me to not to get abused, I need to get out of the school. But what do you tell them? You are in a national school, you need, or in a provincial, or in this good school, and you do not want to give them that empathetic
Let's talk about depression in kids. Sometimes I think we assume that they don't get stressed, they don't get depressed. Can we talk about that?
Yes. They do, because they have emotions. The question should be, we said mental health is all about how you feel, your thoughts, and how you behave. So the question should be about the three things. So do they have feelings? Yes, they do. Do you think they think?
Yes, they do think.
Are you able to pick up behavior from them? Yes, so definitely they also sink into depression. Yes.
Amazing.
If you're going through the three, then it means in the humanly way possible, because you say no human being is 100% normal, but in the humanly way possible, they meet the threshold of being the normal human being. And so yeah, these are things that they go through. And now it's to get to know the triggers. First, kids may go through depression because of very different reasons, but again, allow me not to use depression here, and I just talk about disturbances, because by the time we are talking about kids and depression, we really need to have done the assessment, and we have now solid, you know, like this is what the kid is suffering from. So for you as a parent, how do you get to know that your kid needs therapy? Because it's still the same thing. When you come for therapy, you'll be able to identify your kid is going through anxiety, or here we are dealing with depression. We also have panic, you know, and a lot of issues that kids go through. And it's also good at this point to talk about also something we term as contact disorder, and because it starts with kids. Actually, it's contact, but immediately they get to the age of 18, it's called antisocial. I know when I say antisocial, people may really not understand, because we are busy saying we are so antisocial. Psychologically, if only we would get to know what antisocial disorder means, in fact, no one would ever. Because think of any criminal you've ever heard of let's say without sympathy, and they will kill and come and tell you, I'm the one who killed them, by the way, and they laugh about it because they thrive in suffering of the others.
That's antisocial.
That's the antisocial disorder. It's very severe disorder, and we say victims of this, they actually start when they are kids with contact disorder. At the age of 18, now grows, or when now you are of age, becomes, it's still the same, but now the things you are able to do becomes now the antisocial disorder. Maybe as we go on, we'll be looking at some of these disorders.
Sometimes, personally, I thought being antisocial comes with personality. So do you use... Okay, I'm confused. So it's not good for me to say this person is antisocial.
Oh my goodness. Professionally, we do not have anything like antisocial when it comes to referring to someone who does not relate well in a social environment. That's not the case. Yes, antisocial is a personality disorder, just like we have narcissism. We have a total of 10 personality disorders. We have schizoid. Now, what we mostly refer to antisocial is actually schizoid personality disorder. Like, I don't like being with people. I'm a lone ranger. I'm just okay. Being alone comes with that. You know, people who just want to be in their own space. But they are not affecting other people negatively. And social disorder, first, is it's coming antisocial. Families are social, institution, workplace, everywhere. Like we are socially, there is a way we are socially initiated in each and every corner of our lives. And social means there is no aspect of their life that connects with human being. And by saying that connects with human being now, I'm not saying they have animosity, but I'm saying this is someone who can just pick up a knife and
stab you.
Yes, as they're laughing.
And feel good. And
they're taken in, and after a few, they're out. In fact, what we say is victims of contact and antisocial, their safest place to be is in prison. Or in a mental health facility. That's the safest place to be, because soon as they are out, here we are talking about criminals. We are talking about, okay, fine, I really do not want, because it's not the topic for today, and maybe as we go on we'll be talking about these disorders to educate people more. But just to touch on this, I also do not want to pinpoint some things we've experienced as a society, but we've seen scenarios where even police would go somewhere and they shoot young people. They're dying, they're 16, 17, 18, even 21, they're all over. And of course, people are, you know, out. Of course, some who are, you know, just killed them. They are terrorizing us. They've killed. Others were like, no, but we have justice system and all that. From where I sit, and any other professional will tell you, those people, they needed help because they are suffering, they are mentally ill. Don't get me wrong, that I'm justifying crime. I'm not. That's why if you commit a crime, even in the court of law, you are taken through. You know, you can never be tested or just be there for crime judgment before you go through a mental health assessment. Those are some of the things they want to assess. They want to assess, are we actually dealing with just someone who is a crime offender or just someone who decided, now I'm a law offender, we're not going to do this, or are we actually dealing with someone who is mentally not okay? Are we just fine? We are not, because they will kill and come back again and kill. So do we say mental health gives you the right to do that? No. That's why we say the safest place for them to be is in prison, or in a mental health facility. We'll be talking much when we talk about that, but yes, antisocial is not what we think about. So contact disorder, because parents need to know when their kids, they are going through that, is when even in the house there is the normal, we call it sibling rivalry. They will be fighting over this and that. Tomorrow they are just laughing. But when you have a kid, for them it's everything about them. They are always fighting. They'll fight in the house, they'll fight in school, the neighbor, like your kid becomes the bully of the bullies, like he's known, and he'll even dare even the teachers and even the grown-ups when the things that they are doing, just get to observe. That's why we said you need to be their first support system, to observe that my kid has some tendencies that are not okay, that are not socially acceptable. You know, they're busy just doing something. These are kids, they start with very minute things, like after food is cooked, they just go and pour entire salt. After something has been done, or even pili, you know, they just ensure they do everything, and you'll just be there blaming the teachers. You know, most of the time, rather than concentrating on what is not working, we concentrate on the other person. Maybe it's the wife, it's the husband, it's the teachers, it's the nanny. Get to know when your kid is on the extreme of bad behavior, or on extreme of indiscipline cases. They are always sent home because of things, and they are not remorse about it. They'll actually go ahead and justify, yes, I had to beat him up because he did ABCD. It means they are actually not seeing their mistake anywhere. By this, you'll be able to observe the tendencies. One of it's just an indiscipline case, and that's why therapy is very, very important for you as a parent. How will you be able to know if my kid is actually contact? Because we say before they grow to 18, they can be helped. There is help about it. This is something that is genetically there. So when you're dealing with gene, now this becomes even more, you know, more complex. But there is help. Help is by helping them adapt to the positive living. Even the relationships, we also take them through how to be empathetic, because it comes with empathy for even to be remorse and to say sorry. These are kids that's not within their norm. They'll be okay, they'll steal from their parents. You know, when they start stealing, ask yourself questions. They may steal because of indiscipline cases. They are stealing to go and buy bread. But when you turn to, when we look at contact, they will steal even to just keep the money. They just want to steal from you. They just want to steal from you. They'll do anything. They're the kids who will pour either very cold water or very hot water on their siblings. They thrive in others' suffering. But it's also good to know why we are talking of it being even genetically transferred and all, because in their brain composition, there is some neurons that either they are missed or they are not in the proper way. So they lack that sense of being human in them, so they're not empathetic, and hence they need more. That's why I have talked about brain, which means for them to, for this behavior to be corrected, even for some, they actually need to go through the psychiatric care to be medication to be administered for them now to learn the right behavior. So if you just keep quiet and you say, you know, he behaves like this, even without a complaint, you might actually bring up the next criminal that you're going to experience.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, as we come to the end of this, I'm so sure we have so many parents who have learned a lot, including myself. Probably you can just tell them real quick, if they've noticed such behaviors, where can they find you?
So first, if they become sexually active or they're exposed to sexual activities, and so asking questions about that, because you may not know. We all know your kids, if they know, if they're aware of what they're doing, they not come and tell you, I'm from doing sex.
Yes.
But when they keep on asking the questions and you actually do not know where this is coming from and where it's going to, get to ask yourself a question. When you're told that they are abusing drugs, before you go to their defense, no, I know my son and all that, please bring them for therapy. When they are withdrawn, we've mentioned, when they are avoidant, when they do not want this school, when they are dropping in grades, get to know there is something that is happening in them. This is not who they've been. Let's get to evaluate and get to know what is happening. When they're just not the kids you've known, when they're not opening up, when they're crying alone, just anything that is not okay with your kid, because you know your kid so well. So we are All Smiles Therapy Center. We have physical sessions. We are based in Westlands at the junction of Mpaka Road and Mothithi Road. We see kids from all over across the world, but they're 24/7. We are big and we have very effective virtual sessions for that. For physical sessions, you can bring them to our office. For kids, we also do art therapy, because for some they may not, as I have said, they may not be able to like express themselves verbally, but with art therapy that also helps. So call us. We take insurance, so it's also good you get to know we take insurance. So just reach out to us so that we can tell you, we can book a session and get to see your kids. And just to mention, each and every school holiday we have good offers and good packages for kids. And it's no exceptional with this April holiday. So our number is 0793 561 669.
So we are going to write down the number there, and I'm so sure if you're a parent there, please bring your kids here at All Smiles Therapy. They need therapy. We all need therapy. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us here at All Smiles Therapy YouTube channel. This is Mental Health with the Camas. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel, and see you in our next episode.
Do you need somebody? A shoulder you can lean on when you're not strong. We're here for you. All Smiles Therapy.